Remember to hit the red button to subscribe and click the notification bell to get my next video first. So my friends, ever since doing the review on the BenQ w2700, people have been asking me to compare it to this, the Optoma UHD51. Now this is the very latest Optoma UHD51. I'll go through some of the specs in a second, but we'll be looking at everything from the remote controls to the connections on the back of each projector. Now throw distance is also something you need to consider. With this, the BenQ, I'm 8.16 feet away, which is 2.48 meters, and that is giving me a full 92-inch screen here in my studio. Now I can't put that projector any further back because otherwise the screen just won't be big enough. Now with the Optoma, I can actually push the projector back another couple of feet, so 3.15 meters, which equates to 10.33 feet, which is more than 2 foot further back. Now that 2 feet could be really important if you're positioning your room and you're having your projector on a cabinet and not ceiling mounting it. So these are just things that you need to consider, but both manufacturers will have full details on their websites. Okay, let's now look at some footage. Now, on the left is the BenQ, on the right is the Optoma, and you'll notice straight away that on the BenQ there is a flicker. Now, don't worry guys, you do not see that in reality. For some reason, I've used exactly the same camera and exactly the same camera settings, but the BenQ must broadcast in a slightly different frequency, which therefore shows this flicker. But don't worry, you do not see it in reality. Now, I hope that doesn't put you off in being able to tell the difference between these two. Now, the first thing to say is that side by side they're difficult to split. I've got these both in cinema mode and I can hardly tell the difference. Maybe on the right I just slightly prefer the Optoma. I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments guys. I'm going to show a little bit more of this and then I'm going to show you some HDR cinema quality footage. So this next section is really helpful for looking at the color creation and saturation. Now, in my opinion, the BenQ is just slightly oversaturated. It's a little bit too red, a little bit too bright. Now, what I would say is that you can change this in the settings. And after I filmed this video, I had a play with the settings. I dumbed down the saturation a little bit, and then they were almost identical. I could hardly split the two. So I think that both of these projectors are very much on a par, but there is an interesting twist when we get to some of the later footage, which I'll show you in just a few moments. So I'd be really interested to find out from you guys what you think is the better quality sharpness and more detail in the image. Now in some screens I'm favouring the Optoma and in other screens I'm favouring the BenQ, and I'll try in this video to show you what I mean. Like here for instance it's definitely the Optoma, but on other images it definitely looks like the BenQ is the better picture. Okay, so this next shot is HDR, automatic HDR on both machines, the Optoma on the left and the BenQ on the right. Now, in my opinion, I think the BenQ does handle HDR content well. And in fact, I think it handles it better than the Optoma. I would probably say that standard HD content is probably handled better by the Optoma from what we've seen so far. But what do you think, guys? Looking at this footage here, I just feel that there's a little bit more detail in the BenQ. It may well be that you could tweak the settings on the Optoma and get them to be a little bit more brighter, but this is in automatic HDR mode. You're definitely getting a little bit more detail on the BenQ. And if I pause this screen here and zoom in on the armor, you can see you're getting a lot more detail, and also in the background it's highlighting that background more. Let's take a little break from looking at the images and concentrate on some of the hardware differences. And also at the end of this video we will compare specs like lumens and contrast ratio, etc. So if that floats your boat, then stick around to the end. Connectivity wise, without a doubt, the Optoma wins. There's a couple of things that it has which the BenQ doesn't. So the Ethernet RJ45 port and also a VGA port. Other than that, they are very similar indeed. They both have HDMI 2.2 and they've both also got the ability to read 4K material from the USB port, which is great. You can just plug in a USB device. Now this is the back of the BenQ, which probably looks better, but it also shares things like the optical audio and also both the 2.2 HDMI ports, but it is missing the VGA and the RJ45 Ethernet port. So if it's about connectivity, then probably you'll be favouring the Optoma. Both of these projectors share things like lens shift, which is vertical, and also manual zoom and focus, although on the BenQ it is hidden quite nicely behind this little flap. Now onto the controllers. Here there is only one winner. The BenQ has got so much more you can do with just a single button press. Both of them are backlit, but as you can see, you can just literally access things like light mode and contrast and all the different things that you'd want with a one button operation. So without a doubt, BenQ, they've been doing it for years, but they win on this point. Okay, now let's have a look at some of these head-to-head specs. Now I do have to say that the Optoma in the US is not yet released. I couldn't find it anywhere, so the price that I've given you there is for the previous model, which has lower lumens. That's the ALV model, not the ALVE. But anyway, the price of the Optoma is more expensive than the BenQ, but when you go down and look at the actual specs, you're getting 3,200 lumens compared to 2,000, 500,000 to 1 contrast ratio compared to 30,000 to 1. They're both giving you similar lamp life and they give you similar fan noise, and also they've got the same speakers, but you are getting significantly brighter and better contrast ratio with the Optoma. Now both of these manufacturers like to tell you about special features. With the Optoma it's all about lights on viewing, the fact that it will work with your Google Assistant or with your Amazon Assistant. It has the built-in pure motion technology, a built-in media player, it will connect to Wi-Fi and Ethernet, and you've also got 1080p 3D. So all in all you're getting a really good package with the Optoma. But you're also getting some special features with the BenQ, and so it's important to compare those. With the BenQ, it's probably more about the image. It's DCI P3 color space, it's cinematic color, it's factory calibrated before it even comes to you. The HDR Pro technology, as we've already shown, is brilliant, and also it has CineMaster video and audio quality. It also is 1080p 3D, and this is perfect for a cinema room. So my friends, in summary, I hope this video has been helpful for you to choose between these two great projectors, and I do have to say that individually I'd be very happy with either one. I think the choice comes down to me would be down to your viewing conditions. Now the majority of the movies that I watch in an open plan room, which is a living room, dining room, kitchen, open plan, and so therefore there's normally some type of lighting on, and in that type of environment I believe the Optoma would be the better choice. However, the BenQ in a completely dark room, more like a cinema room, with its incredible colour reproduction and its amazing HDR image, would definitely be the choice for me, but I don't have that luxury of having that cinema room. So I think it's mainly down to you as the individual. If you have got a room which you can dedicate to a cinema, which is going to be pretty dark all of the time, and you're not going to have any ambient light, then the BenQ would probably be my choice. But for day-to-day use and using this in a room where there is other things going on, where you may have to have some lamps on or a kitchen with some lighting, then yes, the Optoma gets it for me. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are. Hopefully this video has helped you. If it has, give it a thumbs up and make sure you leave a comment to which one you prefer in the comments box below. I'll leave you with a little bit more of this footage, but again, thanks for watching and I'll see you on the next one.